Hello everyone, I just wanted to officially announce that this channel, lazykh, is retired. That means I won't be uploading any more videos here, and I probably won't even log into this account ever again. But of course, the videos that I've already uploaded here will stay online. Now, this does not mean I'm leaving YouTube entirely, because as many of you know, I have a few other YouTube channels where you can continue to see what I'm up to. I know it's easy to perceive a goodbye video like this one with sadness, but I'm confident that this is a 100% positive move for me personally, with the main goal being to find a way to enjoy using this platform again, clutter-free. You see, lazykh has already been dormant for almost a year now, so it was already retired in effect. And I have to say, I've felt so much relief this past year having one fewer obligation to keep on my mind, while I focus on other life endeavors. Given that this channel is already dormant, the only thing this video is accomplishing is sort of formalizing this dormancy, like a nicely packaged farewell speech that future onlookers can read if they're curious about what happened. I've been inspired to do this when I realized that most of the YouTubers I look up to really focus their energy on perfecting their content on one channel. For example, Bill Wirtz, 3 Blue 1 Brown, Summoning Salt, or Michael Reeves. Like, maybe they have second channels, but the meat of what they have to offer, like the cream of the crop, is really just on their main channel. Now, I'm not saying I want to fully switch to quality over quantity, as some art purists would recommend, because I do like shitposting meaningless nonsense sometimes, but in the era of 2020, I did feel like I was being counterproductive and not taking full advantage of my creativity when my mind was juggling between 6 different channels, giving each channel 1/6 of my attention, and ending up making mediocre content at best, when I knew I could make better content if I could just focus it all in one place. And also, there are those studies out there that say that multitasking doesn't even work because of the wasted time it takes to transition between thought processes. On top of that, I bet a good majority of you viewers don't keep tabs on all my million different channels, but still want to see me do interesting things, preferably in one place, because that would be simpler. I didn't like that some days I'd pull all-nighters making 3 different videos for 3 separate audiences, essentially working 3 times harder than the typical YouTuber, counterproductively, to still have another couple audiences still feel neglected. And I'd hear them say something along the lines of, "You're showing your true colors by giving them preferential treatment over us, who do you really care about?" I definitely don't want this to be a rant video, let's keep it positive, so I just hope you can understand when I say that I want to reduce this fracturing and simplify my YouTubing. Next, you might be wondering, what about that AI that automatically lip syncs your videos, which was the whole reason to create this channel in the first place? Well, as I described in an earlier video, there were a few unforeseen hurdles that came with running the AI. This might get a bit technical, but some of the hurdles include the fact that it didn't run on Windows because the phoneme detection library I was using was only written for Mac OS at the time. But I edit videos in Windows, so I had to do this weird workaround thing where I'd run the code to render the lip-synced videos on my MacBook laptop, upload them to Google Drive, and then switch computers. It was a whole mess. And there was this other bug where an image sequence that was turned into a video with FFmpeg wasn't compatible with Vegas Pro, the editing software I was using at the time, due to some codec issue, so I'd actually upload the raw video to YouTube unlisted as a shoddy way to re-encode it using some standard codec so it was compatible with Vegas, but basically it's just a lot of technical headache that isn't fun to listen to, which made the whole concept of lazy AI videos the opposite of lazy, and it almost took more time to debug that than making videos the traditional way. And I'm sure some viewers could easily point out the fixes to all the bugs I mentioned earlier, but I don't want to essentially become a lackey quality assurance tester debugger software engineer at a company that doesn't exist and makes no money, lol. With that all being said, I am gonna put the source code for lazykh videos online on GitHub, and I'm kind of surprised at myself that I haven't done it already. Of course, you're free to download it and try to run it yourself, and make any videos you want and monetize them. Do whatever makes you happy. But I'm pretty sure the code won't work for you right off the bat, since it was so hard for me to get it to work for myself, and I won't be maintaining maintaining the GitHub repo at all or providing assistance for others who are trying to run it. Think of this repo as more of a dumping ground or archive zone, just to prove that the code did exist and serve a purpose at some point in the distant past. Now this is all compounded by the fact that larger organizations have already released better, easier to use automatic lip syncing software. Right off the bat, I'm thinking of Adobe Animate's lip sync feature, for which I found this very helpful tutorial, and I'm also thinking of Live2D, which is the software that my friend Catherine uses for her VTubing avatar, which can easily record real-life mouths to lip sync on the fly. As for the substance of the lazykh videos, well, it was fun to cosplay as a Storytime animator YouTuber for a while, but I think that's not truly who I am inside. LOL again. What I learned is that I don't really enjoy talking about random memories from my life because I don't see why you, a stranger, should care about what happened to me, a stranger, when I was in 5th grade. I just don't feel that important. I guess I feel more fulfilled by making stuff that is cool regardless of my personality, so that even if you don't know who I am, it still provides value. But maybe I'm just not cut out for the Storytime animating job, and that's okay. Some people are, and they're great at it, and some people aren't. Also, if you're curious about what I'm doing with artificial intelligence in general, I actually dropped out of my AI master's program at Stanford last December, and I don't foresee myself making many recreational AI YouTube videos anymore. I'm really grateful for the experiences I've had toying around with AI and the dedicated audience that arose to support me, but I feel it's time to scale back. And why's that? Well, to this day, I still read up on AI news, like OpenAI's recent DALL-E 2 that takes in user-submitted text captions and creates incredible drawings. But it's clear to me that these companies, DeepMind, Nvidia, and others, are giant multi-billion-dollar corporations. And for me as an individual to try to compete with them, coding dinky little neural nets on my single GTX 1080 graphics card that keeps glitching in ways that I don't understand, it just feels comical. I would often spend nearly a month debugging code, made worse by the fact that I don't even have access to any professionally trained experts who actually know what the source code does. And all this for a single YouTube video, it's just not worth it. If you compare this to, like, any other genre of YouTube videos, AI is laughably inefficient. And it just wasn't fun for me anymore, so I peaced out. I think that's a good thing, because at 25, I'm getting a better grasp of what actually brings me enjoyment in life. Next, let's move on and discuss lazykh's later role in the Carrie Huang online ecosystem. If you've been around for a while, you might have realized that lazykh's purpose changed away from the automatic lip sync gimmick pretty quickly. The last 20 videos on lazykh, which is the majority of them, didn't feature auto lip sync at all. That's because in October 2020, I sort of transitioned the lazykh channel to become a dumping ground channel for anything not related to Battle for Dream Island. The way I envisioned it in late 2020 was that my YouTube channels formed a Punnett square. Is it high quality and related to BFDI? Then it's a Jack and Jellyfy video. Is it high quality and not related to BFDI? Then it's a Carrie KH video. Is it low quality and related to BFDI? Then it's a Humany video. And finally, is it low quality and not related to BFDI? Then it's a lazykh video. I mean, this all makes logical sense if you think like a computer, and you could argue that it's beneficial to run YouTube channels this way, because the more niche and fine-tuned a channel's categorization is, the more accurately the videos match that exact audience, impressing the algorithm and boosting your channel. But let's have a reality check on this and see if it's realistic. I don't know of any other YouTuber who categorizes their content this precisely. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the algorithm thinks. If managing the system is so hectic, it causes the YouTuber to burn out and not upload anything. Plus, there's so much more to life than algorithm optimization or even YouTube success anyway. On top of all of that, this tiered system gave me this mindset that, oh, no video can go in the upper channels if it's low effort, because that's what the lower channels were created for, which is typically a bad mindset to have on a platform as unpredictable as YouTube, where your lower effort videos can often be your highest performing. I mean, just take a look at the success of YouTube Shorts. The most detrimental effect of this tier system is that perhaps 90% of my non-BFDI audience who are subscribed to KH to see more STEM-related content won't see decent videos like this 27-cube painting puzzle video I made because I deemed it too lazy and belonging to the lazykh tier. So basically, I want to do away with this self-imposed bureaucracy of the complicated Punnett squares and tier systems, and I just want to whittle everything down to the bare minimum of what I actually need. Just upload interesting shit if it's interesting. I feel grateful that I'm at a point in my YouTube journey where I don't stress too much about whether my numbers are going up or down. I realize this is a privilege, but to myself, this means that it doesn't really make sense for me to fear making the wrong YouTube strategic move by uploading content to the wrong channel, or at the wrong time, or in the wrong order, or with the wrong thumbnail. If it causes a 20% drop in views, who cares? And plus, the fewer YouTube channels that are taking up space rent-free in my mind, one, the more connected I can actually be to the fans I've met IRL who only know about one of my channels, of which I've met many at Stanford, and two, the less it feels like I'm uploading out of obligation to keep a channel alive to maintain good reputation and avoid this gossip that I'm lazy, neglectful, and the more it feels like I'm uploading because shit, it's just fun to put interesting ideas out into the world. Like, that's why I made Scale of the Universe. So that's a lot of words to basically say that lazykh doesn't have a purpose to exist anymore, except as an archive of a project I was once invested in. And no matter how many years pass since I've moved on from this AI lip sync thing, I do want to be able to look back on it fondly and without too much of a bad taste in my mouth. And here's what I mean. I know not everyone has experience of being a YouTube creator, but I'm sure you've all worked on some school project years ago that turned out really well and impressed people, so you were rightfully quite proud of your accomplishment. But as time went on, you moved on to higher grade levels with newer projects to work on, so you stopped working on the old ones. When you reflect on those old projects that turned out well, you can still take pride in what you achieved back then. And there's no shame in the fact that you haven't touched them in years. It's wholly a positive experience you had. After all, life goes on, and there's only 24 hours in each day, so in order to dedicate enough time to live your best life now and learn new things, you just have to let go of the past. That's basically what I mean when I say that content creators in general should be able to be proud of the projects they've tried in the past that they're not maintaining anymore. For example, I'll always be grateful to Seth Bling for introducing me to the world of Minecraft Redstone contraptions, even if he never makes another one again. And I'm grateful to CDK007 for showing me the first programmable evolution simulator I'd ever seen, even if they haven't uploaded in 9 years since. And I'm grateful to Community Channel for her crazy fun skits a decade ago, and so on and so on. There's so many more YouTubers in this bucket. Too often, I've seen online creatives shamed for showing how little they actually care for their fans, when they stop making content that couldn't really be sustained anyway. Okay, I'm sure if you've been listening this long, you can understand what I'm getting at. So that's a wrap for this ramble, and since this will be the last ramble on this channel ever, that means that's a wrap for this channel too. Goodbye, all you lazykh viewers. Thank you for all the fun memories, everyone. What should the final word for this channel be? I was thinking of saying lazy as in the channel name lazykh, but I don't want to feed into the narrative that closing down a YouTube channel is a lazy thing to do, so a better choice in my brain is to have the very last spoken word of this channel be the same as the very first spoken word of this channel. What are you doing here? I haven't announced this channel yet. It's not ready for your public eyeballs to gawk at. Shoo, get out of here immediately. Shoo, shoo! What?